Welcome to Pathworking the Tree of Life with the Alchemical Cabala. This week, we are entering the path of He, the Emperor. This is the constituting intelligence in the Western tradition. The letter He means window or wind door. It is the inner door through which the superconsciousness constitutes itself through its own knowing. Specifically, knowing itself as vision. This is a higher order of vision that allows one to oversee their inner kingdom. So working with the Emperor Key, one learns to align one's vision with the higher vision of self. As we do this, we learn to see as the higher vision sees. Specifically, one allows the higher order of vision to see through your seeing exclusively. As you do this, you begin to merge your vision into the one vision as it sees from its own knowing. This is a profound experience and practice. You access this most easily through practicing the core practice. And this, like many or most aspects of the mysteries, is learned through practice and an inner experience of it. Okay. Learning to see truly, or to really see, is a major step on the path of return. So I'm going to repeat core practice. Persistently working with the core practice of the alchemical Cabala. This invokes a very high inner experience of vision. And once this vision is seen within, what then follows is an experience, is the lesson and understanding of what has been seen or witnessed. This is the Great Reception, or simply the Cabala. The integration, understanding, and comprehension of what is received from this vision can occur in an instant, to minutes, to hours, to weeks, years, lifetime, or lifetimes. In truth, it's one life that we're living eternally. And this vision of the path of He and the Emperor is beyond, but it is not limited or hindered by our perception of time. One consistent experience with the path of He and the Emperor is that this is not our typical experience of the vision of this world. And yet, it gives form to the foundation of the world. Now let's look at where this path is on the tree. The path of Hay and the Emperor connects the sphere of wisdom, which is also the sphere of the zodiac, right here, the second Sephiroth. It connects it to the heart. Now, what's happening here? The sphere of wisdom are all of the intelligences of the zodiac, all of them, all 12. The Emperor is the traditional initiator in the sequencing of the zodiac as Aries. It's the beginning. But as a path on the tree, this connects the whole sphere of the stars, or the zodiac, the elliptical, what in Hebrew called the Mazloth, connects us to the heart of the tree, of Tiferet, which in Kabbalah, this Tiferet is the heart of vision, specifically beauty, which is the name itself, Tiferet. So the higher order of vision is beauty itself. And it's interesting how we see the emperor is staring intently at the empress in the order of the keys of the royal path. So please, everyone, take some deep breaths and stare intently at this week's key. Really breathe it in deeply, immerse yourself in it, feel yourself just come into it. And as you stare at the key and feel yourself as one with your own vision of it, feel yourself come into this figure. You're assuming this position, this role, everything in this. As you immerse your vision in this key, please unmute yourselves one at a time and share whatever speaks to you, either directly related to this key or what you see within you when you immerse yourself within this key, the path of Hay and the constituting intelligence.
The emperor is standing on green, which is love, and he's sitting on, I believe, the cube of space. But behind is the river of mind, and the mountains are red, so meaning the action. It feels very powerful, the emperor. And you said he is looking at the high priestess.
The Empress, number key 3.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a good pickup because on the tree, he sees both the Empress and the High Priestess.
Ah.
Let me show you that
And
again while you're thinking of it. See right here, he's looking up here. This is the path of the High Priestess, and right here is the path of the Empress. He's looking right here. They're crossed.
So the subconscious, he's looking maybe into the subconscious mind.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Just see a lot of like the circle, the self on top of the staff he's holding, on top of his hat, the symbol for God, the white, the beard, the divine self. His robe is surrounded by the white rim, and then purple would be attainment, right? I'm just looking at the colors obviously today, so that's what I'm seeing. I'll let somebody else go.
Excellent. Thank you. That is very
Um,
good. Thank you very much.
I'm looking at his eye, and that eye reminds me of the eye that is the one that used the Egyptian eye. I don't remember what it's called, but his actual eye reminds me of that. And it's looking through through to Venus. And then I see that his shield is down on the ground, but then he's holding that whatever that is, and I feel like there's medicine in there.
Interesting.
That's just me.
No, that's great.
That's the story I get.
That's excellent. Thank you.
The Eye of Horus.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
exactly. Yes, very much appropriate and very much here, right? And this, if you look, this Ankh of Venus, this is a symbol of Venus, right? The whole figure. But if you look at just the top of what he's actually looking through, this is the symbol of the sun, which is also at the very top of the crown of the hat that he wears, right? So he's seeing with a solar vision, looking into and through the heart of the sun, which remember in Kabbalah, the son of Tiferet is the heart of vision. It's like in the Little Prince where he says, now I'll tell you my secret. See, truly one looks with the heart. We tend to kind of romanticize this, right? Consider there's more to this. There's more to seeing with the heart. And this is something we're learning to do as we evolve and grow. Anyone else have anything that occurs to them in this key?
Somewhere, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Somewhere where I read, it talked about his severity or his, I think in his decision making or descriptions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yet he becomes the father now too.
Right.
So he's got both the softness and the strictness to him.
Yes. Absolutely, Sue. This is Aries, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very stern ruler, right?
Mm.
And a
Yeah, I
very
saw
high.
that too.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I saw that too, Sue. His face is what really stood out to me at first. And it's just, I see it as completely neutral. I mean, perfectly neutral. With no, right between kindness and malice, So, what I'm seeing about this card is that it's about vision. I mean, that's the main theme. So how do we see? There are two ways we see. One is perception and the other is perspective. So perception that's a negative because we're receiving impressions on our senses. Perspective, that's positive because we choose our position on any given thing that we're looking at. It's kind of like what you said earlier, Eli. You said, look, what you're looking at or what you're looking for. It's kind of that, it's all right there to me anyway, because he's doing it in his right hand. The right hand is the hand of giving. He's measuring what he's seeing. So that's like perspective. That's like changing by degree the way you look at it. His left hand is holding it's like it's a symbol that you often see. It means the ordered world. It's order in nature. So he's perceiving through the order, through natural order. And that would relate to the Venus, like you said, Rachel, that he's, the green of the grass, that's his foundation for his perception. It's his left foot also. So you can kind of get the receptivity side of that left side. So it's whether, it's the vision, the wisdom of vision in that then would be to have that balance between perception and perspective, to have facility with both and know how to operate them. And, even his right and left hand are on an equal plane, on the same plane. So anyway, I'm going on and on about this, but I see so much in it. So
That's excellent. Thank you, Michael.
yeah.
Christina?
Yeah, I like what Michael just said. That's pretty powerful. Yeah, I was thinking about the Aries being, Aries are warriors, they're action driven. And I feel like I very much like what Michael just said about being able to look at the laws of nature, because there's order to the world. There's the natural law. I mean, you can see, once you know what you're looking for, you can actually see it in and I feel like that on the tree where he's got the wisdom and he's bringing that down that path to the sun, or vice versa. He can discern, because he can see what the truth is, and because he has that vision, so he can determine truth, and
Yes.
and he can see the laws in action. You can and we can do that. We can see it's actually very easy to see the law when you're aware of how the universe works. You can actually almost predict the future, because you can see and you can discern how the laws work. And
Interesting.
so if you're aware of cause and effect, and how things work and how things flow, and that's the Aries, that's the Aries, that's the vision. And then it's taking action on that. It's not just sitting quietly. I mean, he's a warrior, so he's gonna fight for truth. He's gonna stand up for truth. So
Right.
anyway, that's what I see.
Excellent. Thank you.
I'll share a few things.
Mhm.
So when I first looked at this key, you shared it last night, I think, and I saw the tree of life was mapped onto the key. So where he's looking is, as the viewer of the key, where the emperor is looking here is where we want to focus our attention as it relates to us. So that would be the sphere of wisdom at his left temple, at our left temple, looking at the key, and then the
Interesting.
sphere at the center, heart center here, you become aware of it in the through using this key. You look at that symbol of the sun where the emperor is looking.
Yep.
You become aware of the heart start. For me, that my heart started to kind of glow.
Perfect.
And
yeah.
and then my attention started to deviate, and then I realized, okay, the emperor, and then his attention redirects you back to the sun. So there's a triune pattern going on here, and
Yes.
it's redirecting the attention in three directions. And so that's what this key seems to communicate, is through wisdom to Tiferet and redirecting that vision back to wisdom again. So it's a sort of a feedback through the window of wisdom. And there's something about the desire here too, because the rod that he's holding is connecting the location of on the tree of the sphere of Venus
Mhm.
to the sphere of wisdom. So the desire is, so that got me thinking about the seed, wondering about the seed that we see later going down that golden path. The seed almost seems like it's like a reception. If you look at the top of the emperor's head, it almost looks like a parting. There's a parting going on there where it looks like there's some kind of receptive, looks like the top of a toroidal field or like an apple. Anyway,
Okay.
so it looks like the seed is the emperor's receptive to this seed, or this, I'm just using the word seed.
Mhm.
And then you see the symbol for Venus there, which is the seed going through this window. Anyway, I'm getting a little carried away with it, but I
No,
just
that's excellent, Jesse. Excellent. And your initial sharing on this was exactly where you need to stay with. That is that is a beautiful approach to the keys. Exactly how you went with that, and then allow yourself to stay in it. You know, the Aries rules the head, but here he's looking with the head, but he's looking to the heart, right? The sun. And we see here, as in all the keys, the ideal for us is to balance these two, right? To bring them into harmony. No small feat, right?
yeah, this key is, it is a window, it seems.
Absolutely.
It's really, when you said window, it's like it's exactly that. It's
Mm-hmm.
the logo, when we're talking about the logos or the seed, it's
Yep.
that central
Yep.
aspect that goes through this window, which is mercy,
Yes.
which is where you get the
Right.
key for.
Mhm.
And when looking at the sphere at his heart center there, it is encased in wisdom. It's like
Yep.
totally surrounded and protected, I guess, even
Mhm.
um,
You
or
know,
treasured
yes.
treasure chest.
Okay. Excellent. Anyone else?
Can't we consider window as what we use windows to see out of? That's the purpose of a window, even though it's called a
Yes.
wind door, but
Yes.
that's
Window.
what we
That's
use
right.
them for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
I
breast.
like.
So that
Yep.
we're talking about vision. Then we're back to the theme of
Exactly.
vision.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd like to read a small passage regarding this letter. I can find it here from the Book of Tokens. It's just wonderful. And it talks about vision, and it talks about coming to understand really anything. Um, let's see here. Okay. And this you'll recognize this is the essence of the core practice. This is from the Book of Tokens, which came through Paul Case on the meditation on the letter Hey. And I'm just going to read a small excerpt from it. It says, This is the key to the mystery of the sacred letters. Here the letter He. Fix thy mind on the object set before thee by any letter, and hold thy thought to meditate thereon. Then shall the inner nature of that object be made known to thee, and by this means thou shalt draw nigh to some aspect of my being. That is the essence of the core practice and how we connect to these intelligences, right? That's why at the end of your core practice, you focus on the letter He down here at the right hand corner. You stare at that letter until it like almost disappears from your vision because you've saturated your retinal cells so much. Then you close your eyes and you let that after image just float in your awareness. This connects you to the intelligence that is He, the window. Anyone else?
I was just thinking the Eye of Horus,
Yep. Yes,
the
absolutely. Yep.
and so it's the eye to the soul. When that's open, that's where illumination, enlightenment, and everything starts to just really roll. It has to, but it does look like the Eye of Horus and
Yes,
symbol for that.
absolutely.
So
Thank you.
very cool.
Thank you, Rachel. And thank you, everyone, for sharing your light and wisdom on the Emperor Key. All right, so moving forwards here, in essence, what we see in this key is the Ancient of Days. Can anyone just share what we mean by that in the Western tradition by the Ancient of Days?
Kind of like the image of God going through time and space and through all things. Always
Yes.
was and always will be.
Perfect. Yes, Victoria, that is exactly correct. That is exactly correct. Thank you. That's exactly what we mean by the Ancient of Days, is that the great tetragrammaton, which this letter is occurs twice in the four-letter name of the creator, the Yod He Vav He, which is pretty profound, right? For one of the names of our creator. So to reiterate, the transliteration of Yod He Vav He translates to all that was, all that is, and all that will be. What a profound, profound name. The Ancient of Days is that, and it is that vision. So when we connect with the Emperor, we are truly connecting with the vision that has seen all that was, the vision that sees all that is now, and the vision that sees all that ever will be. This isn't science fiction. It's not fantasy. This is the higher order of true vision. Michael was speaking of earlier, like in regards to the cosmos. It's that vision. It's the vision of the all, the Allah, the one, which is accessible to us. This is the intelligence we are connecting to within this key, to the degree that we are able to open ourselves up to receive it. And, in traditional zodiac, again, this is Aries, which is associated with the fire of Mars, right? It's this fire of Aries that rises to stimulate this higher vision within our vehicles. Now, understand our vehicles that we incarnate here with, our vehicles do not create this higher vision, but they do allow us to tune into and consciously witness and participate in this higher order of vision. The Ancient One here sits on the cube, which is the entire zodiac. The cube is the container of creation. It's the living symbol of what is to come into manifestation. As the emperor sits up high, he has a very good long view of what's coming forth from the empress and the high priestess in the river of life and the river of consciousness. He sees what's coming into manifestation well before it manifests. And that's where he exercises his authority to say what will pass and what will not. If intervention is necessary, then intervention is taken here at this level. The intervention is to what will be or what will not be. It's like Shakespeare, right? That's the role of the emperor. This intelligence protects us and oversees all that is within us. And we can participate in this oversight, in this greater vision. So here's something to think about when it comes to the emperor. It's one of these intelligent quotes from Einstein. You've probably heard it. It says that no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. So the higher vision of the emperor is where problems may be actually solved. Why is this? Because most things that we perceive of as problems in the world, right? Most of these things occur on the lower levels of the tree, where people are identified as separate human beings with their own desires and wills and wants, etc., blah, 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 right? But on the simple tree, we know that the emperor connects us to the divine life at the causal plane, to the central self. The causal plane is where we are able to actually impact and solve our own so-called problems. The Cabala teaching is that our problems are blessings for us to solve. Now, the emperor is the supreme nous, right? Which the reason, the mind. Now, this is not the mass mind like we think of, as most people experience the mind. This is the higher mind. Working with this key connects us to that within us, within the all. So as you practice the core practice this week, intend and ask the emperor to show you what it will show you, to reveal to you this higher order of vision and knowing. if you choose to make this request, consider asking that what be received be for the good of all. Remember to write your experiences and your dreams in your journal. And if you wish to see anything more deeply in your environment, look at it. Look at what you wish to see more deeply into. And put yourself in the position of the emperor. Not in a judgmental way, but just in a way to see, to invoke that higher order of vision within you, to see through the appearances. And if you like, another practice you can do this week is imagine that you're simply seeing through what the emperor's seeing through, right? Where he's looking through this symbol right here. Just imagine you're looking through that. This seems simple, and it is very simple. But do it and see what happens. If you want to get even more simple, use this symbol and imagine and superimpose it over what you are looking at. Look through it. Look through the center of this image superimposed over what you're looking at. Don't get super complicated about it. Just know this image is in front of your own vision. And then just allow what you see, allow yourself to see what you see. You can also use this image every other night to end your core practice, where you simply stare at this as you go to sleep, and then let the after image just float in your mind. And just see what happens. I want to thank you all for your brilliant participation in our outer class on the path of Hay. This concludes our class on the Emperor, and the floor is now open for any questions or comments.
That was great, Eli.
Thank you, Michael. That's